YouTube, petey twofinger back with Venomous video episode number 2. Special thanks goes to the guy who flipped out on the ASMR video for bringing me to the point of realization that this would make for a good series of videos, is me being venomous. And as I reacted to you attacking me, calling me intolerant and ignorant, and telling me that I was misinformed when I read from a Wikipedia article and another article about something that I knew nothing about. So today's episode number 2, we're going to talk about cheaters. And these are the type of people I don't like. I don't like cheaters. When I married my wife, I thought about it, not a lot, but it did. As we were dating, we dated for a while, for kind of a long time, like 4 years or something like that. And I had come to a realization that this contract that I was entering with this person, that it was like a legitimate thing. There wasn't going to be any calling a lawyer. It was for the duration, you know. And so I decided that I was not going to lie to my wife. And that has been one of the greatest, if not the greatest conversation with myself that I ever had. That's how you do it. You always tell the truth. And if there's something that you don't want to tell her, that means that you really need to tell her that. So there's been a lot of stupid stuff that I've gotten in trouble, which usually means she'll react to it, and then as I explain it to her and then say, hey, look, I don't want to tell you this, but I have to because I'm honest, so please don't shoot the messenger. I didn't do anything, you know. I'm telling you what happened. So those types of situations can pretty quickly get smoothed over once, you know, you explain to the person, hey, it's not me, but this happened, and it's something I need to tell you. So yeah, that's the way to go. The other end of the deal, stuff like, I know I keep bringing him up, but my older brother used to do stuff like open our Christmas presents and then retape them up, and then you would have to pretend. You know, he was 4 years older than me, so we're talking about when I'm like 3 and 4, this is going on. So you kind of can't look at me like I was part and parcel to this, because I was too little to even know what was going on. But yeah, that ruined a couple of Christmases for me, him doing that. And then him just cheating at every, you know, having a 4-year advantage and constantly being a schemer and figuring out ways to trip me up, mock me, harm me. And then every competition we ever did, even though he was older, smarter, bigger, faster than me, he would cheat. Really ruined every type of kind of wanting to participate in anything. Which leads me to the title of one of my favorite personal recordings is called Can't Compete. And that deals with family issues with me. Because there was a lot of them. My dad died when I was 15. 9 days before my 16th birthday, my dad died. And he was a violent man, which created a whole lot of monkey business that was going on in the family that, as a result, it was like, when my dad died, there was like a breath of fresh air. And then it took me years to get out from underneath. I'm still messed up from my childhood, and I don't want to say I had it bad. There's so many other people that had it worse. But I had it bad. It was bad. I was abused. It was not good what happened. So, that should explain to you why I am the way I am. Because when I got out from under that and tried, I still, you know, the guy's still my brother. He's still there, and I still have to face him. Every once in a while, the holidays, I have to see him. And then if I do spend some time with him, it'll all kind of come back. He'll keep insisting that we keep getting together constantly and doing his thing, and he'll never reciprocate. He'll never come by me. If I invite him to come and see the band, he'll never come. It's just stuff like that. They've come, I don't know, 2 times in the 15, 17 years I've lived here. They've come to our house, his family. So it sucks. And the best thing I can do is to come to peace with that, because he's still sick, is just keep him at arm's length. And I don't mean to get all personal about this, but yeah, that's part of the reason that I really, really hate people that cheat. I hate that. I'm not talking about relationship stuff. I'm more talking about just cheaters, okay? So today we're going to talk about two guys. One of them's name is Billy Mitchell. He's the guy, the Donkey Kong King. There was a movie called King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters. It was a documentary. Steve Wiebe, or Wiebe, is this like honest looking white guy, kind of looks like me, maybe, that type of white guy with lighter hair. And then there's Billy Mitchell, who wears all black. He's real skinny, and he's got well trimmed beard, facial hair, flowing locks of long, past the shoulder length hair that's perfectly done. And he wears all black and American flag ties and an American flag handkerchief. And he brags a lot about himself. He just says stuff. He's really proud, and he's really, I don't want to say arrogant, but he kind of is. I mean, and I guess if you did set 15 million points on Centipede, you would be proud. But now it's come out that he's been cheating. Now there's another guy. You really have to watch the movie. If you never saw King of Kong, it's awesome. It's a great movie. Steve Wiebe in his garage with his family. He's got a Donkey Kong machine, and his kid's like, "Daddy, I want to be your friend." And he's like, "Get out of here, kid! I gotta beat Billy Mitchell. I gotta beat Billy Mitchell, you know." I almost said Steve Mitchell. I have a friend named Steve Mitchell. So actually, he's Danny's friend, and I wasn't allowed to be those people's friends. I was Danny's friend, so we all know about that. Anyway, King of Kong, awesome movie. Now, it turns out this is a little late, but I'm speaking to you guys, maybe you don't know about this. And there's another guy that just came out, and I forget his name. Is it Roger? It's not Roger Taylor. Todd Rogers is the other guy we're going to talk about. And this is all happening like, it's a year ago. Yeah, so this is all old news. But for some reason, those videos were just popping up, and it was news to me. And I knew who Todd was from watching these documentaries. It's like it all revolves around this arcade called Twin Galaxies. And that's where they have the scoreboard for the high scores. So you'll learn about all these people through this movie. There's another guy, Roy Schilt, who calls himself Mr. Awesome, and he's kind of creepy. He's like got these videos where he's all muscled out, and he wears this military uniform, and he's doing push-ups, talking about how you get girls through getting high scores, and he hates Billy Mitchell, and he's always accused Billy of cheating. So it turns out that Billy Mitchell, 3 of his scores got taken down, and he's made some statement that he's going to get all these records and prove it, where he provided videotapes before, and every time those videos, like, he'll have like a cut in them or some kind of thing shady with the graphics where he could have maybe faked it. So the other guy will play in public. He'll go to the arcade and sit there for hours and hours and hours, standing at this game, not leaving to pee or eat, to get 1 million points. And he's the other guy with the tie and the hair. He's never gotten over 1 million points in public. So it looks like he's been cheating. Now, they made a cartoon about him. There was an episode on Cartoon Channel. I don't know the show, but they had these kids breaking a record on a video game, and all of a sudden this giant head showed up, and it looked kind of like Billy Mitchell. Had a different name, a real pompous name, and it was a giant bearded head, and it had legs sticking out of the beard and arms, and it came and beat their score, and then it lost right before it beat their score and exploded into some yellow pus that went all over everybody in this cartoon. So Billy Mitchell sued. He opened a lawsuit because he couldn't take a joke. And the guys at Cartoon Network, I almost said Animal Planet, the guys over there, they had done a good enough job. They didn't put the American flag on it, and they just had this giant bearded head, so the judge threw it out. Because I'm sure the judge went and watched King of Kong. I'm sure he did. And if you watch that movie, you'll be right along with me. You'll be like, why is this Venomous video? This guy's just pointing out the obvious fact that these people they're just awful human beings. They're not good people. The people I'm talking about in this. Roy Schultz, he's a good guy. He really is. I didn't like that stuff with the woman. That was creepy. You didn't need to bring that element in on it. Okay, I get what you were trying to do. No offense to Roy Schultz, you're an awesome dude, but Mr. Awesome, that's what he calls himself. But if you watch the movie, as I'm sure the judge did, you would come out really going on the side of Steve Lieb. He's a good guy. So the judge ruled against, dropped the case and said in the cartoon that it clearly wasn't a human being. It was a floating head with legs that came out of it, and that when its record was broken, it exploded and turned into a yellow matter, which Billy Mitchell clearly didn't do, because his records have been broken, which is excellent. People are coming and shooting this guy down. He had some kind of hot sauce thing. It was like Billy Mitchell's hot sauce company. And I don't think he had a restaurant, some kind of seafood place. Oh no! But and his hot sauce thing, I don't know. I can't. Venomous video. Am I going to need to overstress that I do not care for these people? No. I'm just going to say I don't like that guy. Okay, I really, really, really don't like Billy Mitchell. I don't like him, and I'm not going to try to keep going on and on about how much I dislike this guy. I just don't like Billy Mitchell. Okay, you'll have to take my word on that one. Now, the other guy is Todd Rogers, the king of video games. This is what he named himself, and this guy, he has a bunch of Mr. Activision. He called himself. All those old Activision games, they had a thing where you would take a photo of the screen and send it in, and then you would get these patches. And my buddy Gary Atkins, rest in peace, Gary, he had some of those. He still had them, his Activision patches. And, man, I wish I would have been able to get my hands on those. What a great thing to have. Anyway, this guy, Todd Rogers, has recently, what they did, other people that were playing the game were like, it's impossible to get these scores that he said he's gotten because they're so ridiculous. Like, there's no way you could do it because these people were playing the game like and playing it and playing it and playing it. So then what they did, they took the code of the game and they like eliminated all of the obstacles, so you would just fly right through the game without at maximum speed without having anything to crash into you. And it was still, this other Todd Rogers score was less time. So that means it's physically impossible. So then he started saying stuff like, oh, well, I would start the game in second gear instead of first, and that's how I did it. And like, it's impossible. Like, this guy just keeps lying and lying and lying and lying. So basically what this comes down to is Twin Galaxies, the arcade, they have all these scores, and all of those scores are all false. Okay, they've had them up for years. Now it's all coming out. There's other people that have been saying this all along, besides just that Roy Schultz, that these guys were cheaters. So Todd Rogers, double birdie salute, get out of here. We don't cheat. And Billy Mitchell, no, double thumbs down. Actually, and a double birdie salute, and one up the keister for Billy Mitchell, because he's just a horrible guy. Todd Rogers, I don't know what his story is. He looks like whatever. I kind of feel sorry for him just on his looks. The one picture of him, he's got on glasses so you can't see his eyes, and he's all in some kind of tux in front of a house, like, this is my house. which, I mean, I rent, so I shouldn't goof on them for that. But so yeah, I don't like cheaters. Tell the truth, especially to your wife. I mean, do we need to go there? Yeah, we do. This is a crazy world we live in. And why am I talking like I'm from Brooklyn? It's not a Knish. So I wanted to also say that I've been working on this album, and when I'm playing the lead parts, oftentimes there'll be parts in those leads. I do multiple takes, and I just can't get it right. So I will take the best take, and I will go in there in that section where I screwed up, and I will cut out usually less than a measure that I will remove, and then I will go make a track underneath it, and I'll play and fix that. So like in this lead for the first song that I did, there ended up being 4 parts to that lead. Okay, so I'm cheating on that lead. I realize that when I I've always felt when I do that it's like I should let people know. So here I am, I'm putting it out there, and I don't feel bad about it because that's the way that I record, and it's not necessarily anything I could ever play live. And I work very hard at doing this, and I want the record to be something amazing. I think that the fact that I'm missing 2 fingers, that I get to cheat a little bit when I do that. Now, if you saw the tracks and you saw that the rhythm tracks, I'm usually playing all the way through. I don't want to loop everything because then it's kind of sterile. I hear how each verse is different. I hear how I play it slightly different. And if you're multi-tracking, then when you do that stuff different, man, it gets you into all kinds of trouble. You really got to go back and do it the same way, as close as you can. But typically, I do a lot of mono recording, and I'll pan one track hard right, and then I'll record the same thing again and mimic it really well so there isn't too many discrepancies. Or I'll like purposely play it really different. I'll play every other note so it bounces back and forth, and then I'll put like a clean bass doing that, and then I'll put a middle track that's panned mono in the center with a bass that has a distortion and an envelope filter, and I'll just do accents on there, a little quicky quacky quack, wah 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 wah, that type of thing in the middle, while the don't, and that gives you this like Space Invaders, like talking kind of bass line. It's a real in my demos where I work for Vic Audio. I'm not sure if in the Debbie Ever one, I'm sure I did some of that in the Debbie Ever. There's a 22-minute long Debbie Ever one that's incredible. That's called Last Fuzz on Earth, and I used a Vincent Price movie, Last Man on Earth, and I'm really proud of that. That's like an EP of music. It's really good stuff. So check that out. That's on a positive. We've got something for me this time. That's Debbie Ever, Last Fuzz on Earth, and you can find that on my channel. So today's Venomous video, cheaters, don't cheat. It's simple. Play fair. How hard is that to do? It's actually easier to do than cheating. Cheating takes more effort. And cheaters never prosper. The lie always finds a way to coming to the surface, and the light shines on it. Being honest is the only way to go, especially with your loved ones. Now, when we're kids, if you're coming up and you're dealing with some kind of a crazy situation where you're in a house where there's abuse, it's no excuse, but that type of deception that goes on where you're trying to protect yourself, that's a whole different thing. I'm not talking about that, but that's still an issue. So that deals with how we raise our children, that they're not so scared of us that they'll be able to tell us the truth, which is a very difficult line to straddle. But it isn't always exactly clear, and because of that, the easy way to go and the right way to go is to tell the truth, because then that way the light is always shining, and there is no darkness, there's no deception, there's nothing that we gotta cover up and hide and worry about coming to the surface. And that's a wonderful feeling, to be free from all of that. So my life has two chapters, and that one where I was under my family was horrible, and it led up to some really tragic events in my life that after that I ended up meeting my wife, and everything started kind of getting better after that. So I have her to thank for all of that, and she deserves it. You know, if you guys know me and you know how much I champion her, maybe you'll understand a little bit more now why I look to her the way that I do. And that's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. So, Venomous video. Thank you for joining me, episode 2.
Not only has Twin Galaxies removed his dragster time from the leaderboards.
Yeah, they removed his dragster time from the leaderboards. Thank you for joining me. Venomous video. You guys take care of yourselves. And peace.